The Bermuda Triangle, also known as the Devil's Triangle, is an area in the Atlantic Ocean notorious for the large amount of planes and ships that have mysteriously disappeared in its reaches. Some attribute the disappearances to the paranormal or aliens, while others believe it can be explained by natural causes and coincidence. The disappearance of Flight 19 has caused much debate over the crew's fates in the Bermuda Triangle. On December 5, 1945, 5 TBM Avenger torpedo bombers disappeared while on a training mission from Naval Air Station Fort Lauderdale, Florida. The flight leader was United States Lieutenant Charles Carroll Taylor, who had about 2,500 flying hours, mostly in aircraft of this type, while his trainee pilots had 300 total and 60 flight hours in the Avenger. No one is certain what happened exactly, but some experts believe that Lieutenant Taylor became confused and disoriented during the training flight and mistook the islands they were flying over as the Florida Keys to the south, when they were actually over a stretch of islands to the east of Fort Lauderdale that Taylor mistook for the Florida Keys. After Taylor reported that Flight 19 was suffering compass malfunctions and he thought their location was over the Florida Keys, he was instructed to fly north towards Fort Lauderdale. If Flight 19 was over the islands to the east, then flying north would have taken them out to open seas instead of towards Florida. The control tower informed Taylor that he could not be over the Florida Keys since the wind that day did not blow that way. Some of his teammates believed that their compass was working, so Taylor set a course northeast according to their compass, which would take them to Florida if they were in Key West. When that failed, Taylor set a course west according to their compass if they were in the Bahamas. If Taylor stayed this course, he would have reached land before running out of fuel. However, at some point Taylor decided that he had tried going west enough. He then once again set a course northeast, thinking they were near Key West after all. The Flight 19 crew would have ran out of fuel shortly after this, and are believed to have crashed into the Atlantic Ocean. All 14 men on the flight were lost, and no traces of them have ever been found. After it was apparent that Flight 19 was in serious trouble, a TBM Mariner seaplane was sent to try and guide them back to base. 27 minutes after it began its search for the Flight 19 crew, the TBM Mariner and all 13 of its crew vanished as well. A ship in the area reported seeing an explosion in the sky around the time the Mariner disappeared. Navy Mariners have been nicknamed flying gas cans due to their large fuel tanks and their reputation of exploding due to sparks and pilots smoking on board. There are many ships and sailors that have disappeared in the Bermuda Triangle. One of the most well-known and mysterious stories is the tale of the USS Cyclops. USS Cyclops was a massive 522-foot carrier ship that supplied resources to the Allies during World War I. While transporting a shipment of manganese ore from Brazil to the United States, the Cyclops made an unscheduled stop in Barbados on the 3rd of March 1918. The starboard engine had a broken cylinder that made it inoperable. It was suggested that the ship was overloaded and should seek repairs. However, the ship's captain decided to continue with the shipment and departed for Baltimore on March 4, 1918. The USS Cyclops and her 309 crew were never seen again, and no traces of them have ever been found. Some believe the Cyclops was torpedoed by a German submarine, or possibly rolled over and sunk due to an overloaded cargo on rough seas. The captain of the ship, Lieutenant Commander George W. Worley, was said to be harsh on his crew and endorse shady methods of sailing. The most serious accusation against Worley was that he was pro-German in wartime and may have colluded with the enemy. It was later discovered that Worley was actually born in Germany and had changed his name after immigrating and jumping ship in San Francisco. Another possibility was realized during World War II when 2 of the USS Cyclops' sister ships were lost at sea due to structural failure while carrying a similar load of heavy metallic ore. Over the years, many scientists have tried to unravel the mystery of the Bermuda Triangle and given many answers to explain why so many planes, ships, and people have gone missing. Statistics have proven that the amount of disappearances in the Bermuda Triangle are not as high as once thought. One of the largest shipping routes in the world runs through the Bermuda Triangle, and when averaged out, its disappearance rate is no higher than other places found around the world. To explain the lack of debris found, it was theorized that strong Gulf Stream currents could move and scatter wreckage in a short amount of time. This, combined with some of the deepest marine trenches in the world, could make it extremely difficult to find evidence, as it may be in pieces all across the ocean. Another popular theory is that large pockets of methane lie under the ocean floor and get released in events such as earthquakes. If a ship or low-flying plane were caught in the area of releasing methane, they had a good chance of sinking to the bottom of the ocean. Some scientists discredit this theory, however, stating that the likelihood of a ship or plane being in the same spot at the same time a large amount of methane is released is equivalent to a ship or plane being struck by a meteor. Rogue waves are thought to play a part in the Bermuda Triangle mystery as well. Rogue waves occur when factors such as high winds and strong currents cause waves to merge and create larger waves. Rogue waves usually happen far out in the ocean and have been recorded at heights of almost 100 feet. The monster waves can appear without warning and may travel against the current and flow of other waves. They can form on perfectly clear weather days, and most ships cannot withstand the tremendous pressures exerted by large rogue waves. Compass problems are brought up in many triangle incidents. While some have theorized that unusual magnetic anomalies may exist in the area, such anomalies have not been found. A compass always points to the magnetic north, and not true north, which points to the North Pole. Magnetic north and true north are only the same in a small number of places, facts which navigators have known for centuries and are trained to compensate for. This means that compass deviation is most likely not a factor in Bermuda Triangle disappearances. Although there may be many rational explanations to help answer the mystery, it does not mean strange things don't still occur in the Devil's Triangle.